Welcome viewers to this edition of Global Lens with me, Shita Mitra, where we get you top stories from around the globe. Now starting with the United States. President Donald Trump has once again said that he could raise tariffs on India if they don't help on the concerns related to the Russian oil. Now India became the buyer of discounted Russian crude following the 2022 Ukraine war, but those purchases have fueled a backlash from Western nations. In fact, they have targeted Russian energy sectors with sanctions as well, arguing that oil revenues help fund Moscow's war effort. Now, the United States last year doubled import tariffs on Indian goods to about 50% as a punishment for its heavy purchasing of Russian oil. And the two countries at this point are currently negotiating a potential trade deal as well. Multiple rounds of talks have already taken place. There has been back and forth between the Indian representatives and the US as well. So currently the negotiations are underway for a much anticipated trade deal between the two countries. And amid all those, a statement coming in from Donald Trump again, where he's once again said he could raise tariffs on India if they do not help on the concerns related to Russian oil. All right, remember, India became the buyer of a discounted Russian crude following the Ukraine war. It started in the year 2022, but those purchases coming in from New Delhi have fueled a backlash from Western nations. They've triggered Russian energy sector with the sanctions, arguing that revenues help fund Moscow's war efforts. Meanwhile, India's stand has been pretty clear that it will put the interests of its consumers, the energy needs of the country first. Now, the United States last year doubled, in fact, import tariffs on Indian goods to about 50%, which is the highest in Asia, as punishment for its heavy purchasing of Russian oil. And at this point, when two countries are currently negotiating for a much anticipated trade deal, this is the latest warning coming in from the US President Donald Trump, wherein he said he could raise the tariffs on Indian goods if New Delhi does not help on the Russian oil issue. Remember, Donald Trump, even while campaigning for his presidency, had said that he would stop the Russia-Ukraine war as soon as he becomes the president. But he's not been able to do so. He said it is one war that has become the most challenging for him, in fact. Now, efforts are on from the US side to end the war, but Russian and Ukrainian side, they are not budging on contested issues, specifically regarding territory. So now, of course, it seems that India, being a key player in the region as well, Donald Trump is now looking toward a New Delhi to maybe end the war. But the latest statement, in fact, has come in not in the form of a request or a plea, but in a form of a warning, where Donald Trump says he could impose more tariffs on Indian goods if New Delhi does not help with the Russian oil issue. Remember, trade and the sanctions is something that have been used by the Western nations as a negotiating tool to end the war in Ukraine, which in fact has now been going on for over 4 years.